afternoon. It is Jane with Scraptastic Yarns podcast, and today is the 9th of July. We're moving along pretty quickly in this month so far. I do have a few finished items, and I will show you those now. These are all crochet. Did get that blanket that I was working on finished, and it is completed, lapgan ready to go. And then of course the unraveled mitten has the stash busting gal 2019, and this is block number 12, the alpine stitch. I haven't blocked it yet, washed it, just kind of finished it yesterday. You know, I don't do that till I'm ready to start putting them together. And then this is block number 13, which is the star, or the marguerite stitch is actually what the name of this is, but it's a star stitch. And this stitch in itself makes a great bag, crochet bag, you know, and you put a zipper in it if you want, but it does make a beautiful bag. How do I know? Did that many years ago. And of course then we have a couple of crocheted hats. That are ready to go on to the babies. Now I have a couple knitted baby hats. This one is, we'll just call it the clown hat. These are just some scraps of this and that. And then of course had to finish up with that red, white, and blue. Kind of interesting the way it pulled there. And this one, I was a little surprised, didn't expect it to make stripes. I don't know why. I just assumed it was going to make stripes, and that's how that one came out. And this one was just, you know, some scraps ready to go. So that's it for finished items. Not a whole lot. I worked on cleaning up Chairzilla over here, and Chairzilla, I have found 4 knitted shawls in the process. Well, 3 knitted shawls and a sweater, and I have posted this sweater on Scraptastic Yarn. And the reason I have posted this sweater is I received this sweater just like this. Only it wasn't on any needles or anything, it was just on thread. And I was asked to finish it. You can see it's got a little ways to go. It is a beautiful sweater, but I have no clue what this stitch is. This is the stitch as it's coming down. Let me see if I can get that in the right position. And it is knit. And it goes all the way down the sleeve. Goes all the way down the front panel. And the other side and the other sleeve. And I put it on, I just transferred it to needles. The size needle that I determined it was, or the size needle I'm using, I believe is a 4, might be a 3. Oh, I can't see it, but anyway, it's ready to be finished. Just need to figure out this stitch. On one of the sleeves I attempted to backward engineer this. Did not go so well. I do know there are some pearls in there, and some knit twos together. It's over 7 stitches, but I'm still playing with it, and of course there's someone in the group that's going to look at it. Posted some pictures. She's going to try to decipher it for me. I had taken it into someone who's really good at looking at patterns and figuring out what it was, and she said to me, "That's the gold stitch." And I said, "No, it's not." And so we worked up in a different yarn. We worked up some other gold stitch, and it was not the gold stitch. And then I thought it was the little shell stitch. It's not the little shell stitch. So I don't know if this is something that the person that was knitting it thought was a stitch and just went with it, or if it's a stitch somewhere that I and this other gal just can't find. And I've looked through all my Barbara Walker books and, you know, a couple of other knitting books that I have, and I don't see anything that's even close to it. So it's a mystery. And like I said, the only thing that I've been working on as far as whips is this shawl, using some of that Hellspun. Of course, it wasn't Hellspun before. In the past, it was called Colorways, and that's what's on the skeins there. And I'm using up, I've got one more skein to go, and then this will be finished as far as I'm concerned for a shawl. The other 2 shawls are down in the bottom. One is a oaklet pattern, and the other one, I don't know what it is because it's missing the pattern. I don't know why I do that. You know, these are small things I used to do. I'd move the pattern away from the project. You know, sometimes get a little silly. Now, a lot of you know that there are several new sites that have cropped up, and one of those being OpenRaveled. One of those is, I believe it's Unraveled, and then the other one is Fiberocity. And I'm going to link a video down below. Mo of Unseen Strands has gone in and looked at all of those 3 sites. She has done, giving you an idea of what they look like. However, I am going to tell you this. Mo is legally blind, so she does invert the colors on her screen, but she does a real good job explaining what she's seeing, those kind of things, as far as the different groups are. So I'm going to link her video down below. I believe it's called Loose Threads, Knit and Crochet. Knit Crochet Communities, OurUnraveled, sorry, it was OurUnraveled, Fiberocity, and OpenRavel. So she's kind of gone and showed you the face, but just keep in mind that normally where you would see a white screen, she has it black because she is legally blind. She needs that contrast to be able to see what's on those pages, and she goes through the whole thing telling you about that. I have been looking at a lot of other designers' sites, all kinds of things like that. Debbie from the Canadian Crocheter had put up some patterns that she had chosen to make for Ella's Christmas make-along on her Facebook group, and that's no catchy name. She used a site called I believe it's Top Free Crochet Patterns, or Top Crochet Patterns. I'll link it down below. But she was a little concerned because she had to register for it. She also had to, she said when she downloaded one of the pages she had done, the amigurumi that she was making, it had a reference to a page 62 on it. And she said, but the pattern was only 3 pages long. And I'm pretty sure that's because this site also features a magazine called Knit and Crochet Club, and they're wanting you to sign up and subscribe to the magazine. So I'm thinking that the reason page 62 wasn't there is because these are some designs that were in that magazine in the past. So, you know, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, whether it is or isn't, but I believe that's what it is. And of course, you know, we always have all these other sites. Garden Studio has Knit and Crochet, which is drops. Now, I have done a couple of those patterns. Sometimes they're confusing and sometimes they're not. A lot of that is the translation factor. And so I always try to make sure I find one that has a chart. So if you read charts, you can probably do the pattern without any issues. I've never had an issue with those that have charts available. But they do have a lot of knit and crochet patterns. Primarily they want you to buy the yarns that they're suggesting, but you can always find an alternative for those yarns. And they do have on the site an area where you can go in and see what size yarn they have. They generally list them as A, B, C, D, and E, but it's fairly easy to manage and to look through. There are, of course, you know, I get quite a few from, I want to say Knit and Crochet Today. Interweave has a lot of free patterns that they'll put up there as well. So, yeah, we just need to look a little further, look a little deeper. And with that, I'm going to mention Stephanie Knipper. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. She is primarily a knitter and a spinner. She has on her Facebook, she has a group that she runs, and it's called Wolf and Sheep, I believe. And the wolf has 2 O's. I will link to Stephanie's YouTube channel, and you can go look at the some of her videos. She has the Facebook group listed below. But in her Facebook group, they are listing under the files section, they're listing designers, websites, all those kind of things where you can find patterns. Now, I had mentioned Knitty.com. Yes, I know it's run by someone who's radical left. Someone had sent me a message that when they went to Knitty, when they went to look up for a pattern, it sent them directly to Ravelry. I don't know if that's something they've done new or not. In the past, it was Knitty.com. You went under, you looked at issues, past and present, and then you could see pictures of all the knitted and or crochet, because I do occasionally do crochet patterns, where you could see pictures of the items, and then you could go down, click on the picture, and you would be taken to the pattern, and you could print it off, that kind of thing. I don't know if she's since changed that because she's standing with Ravelry or not. I think that might be a little bit to her detriment. But what do I know? Not much. So that's kind of where it's at with that. I have not started to add in patterns where I've gone to in the past because I have a big old banker's box over here of knit and crochet magazines that I've purchased in the past. So I'm kind of reliving my past and finding patterns that I had wanted to do, but I never got around to doing because Ravelry distracted me. So now I'm looking through these magazines and finding patterns that I want to do, looking to see if I have yarns that are compatible for those patterns. And I will tell you always, with knitting, I don't always use lace weight or DK weight if it suggests that, because I do a lot of charity work. So I often will use worsted weight with larger needles, or even a size 8, size 10 needle. Work the pattern to a certain point where I can. Sometimes you can't work the entire pattern because it would be way too large. But many times you can work most of the pattern and then add in a different edging or leave it a plain edging. And the patterns look beautiful. So, there are a lot of options. Of course, we can always play and create our own little patterns, you know. I do that a lot, many times. When I'm knitting or crocheting, I'll say, I'm tired of this stitch, let me change it up. So, yeah, it's quite fun to play and experiment with your knitting and your crochet. So, and I believe Stephanie on her website is also going to do the Tour de Fleece with the spinning and looking at doing some lives on Saturdays with that. So there's always that option for those of you that enjoy doing the Tour de Fleece that they do each year on Ravelry in the summer. I have never done that because I do drop spindle and I have a kick spindle that I spin with, and I get in these moods where I want to do it and then I back away from it. So, and mine is I don't ever want to do it during the summer. It's generally in the winter. I don't know. This head goes a little wacky sometimes. So, yeah, that is it for that. I am now going to insert, I had told you I was going to insert some video from Prayer Shawl. I'm going to insert that video, and so I hope you enjoy this.
I'm not sure I can either. Yeah, she has her yarn. It's yarn that didn't come in a skein. You put it in there and put a. I have a winder, and so it makes a big cake of yarn, and then it just kind of is.
I'm going to do that right now, as soon as you're finished talking. Last month, we had 37 ladies attend our meeting. Isn't that interesting? And we collected $92. We collected enough money to be able to buy fried chicken from the Way store. And that's what you smelled when you came in the door, isn't it? We like that. So thank you for your donation. We appreciate that. I think I told you, I'm not sure, but the Evangelical Lutheran Church right beside Kentucky Fried Chicken donated $95 to our prayer shawl ministry. So with that, we purchased more yarn. There is $100 worth of yarn back there in our yarn center. You are welcome to take that and use it. Last month, 233 items were donated. And to date, 1,138 items have been donated. Now these are your blankets, your prayer shawls, lapgans, sweaters, everything. So it's over 1,000 items that we've made so far. So those of you who have received an email.
As you can see, each month that's quite a bit of items we bring in. And generally, Pastor Susan will hand out anywhere from 20 to 30 items each week into communities or someone who's asked for those. And that does not include the breast prosthesis that I do. That is something totally different. And generally, I just give them a year-end cap of what I've done. When I don't have someone contacting me as I'm making the breast prosthesis, I send them up to Knitted Knockers. So I always make sure I have a couple of pairs of each size set aside. But I generally will send those up probably every other month. I'll send, 6 or 7 pairs of knockers so that they have those available to send out. So, and, after that little speech, she continues to tell us things that are going on. Like if there's someone in the community, we had an incident where 2 of the bikers were in an accident and needed some funds. So we did a little fundraising there, and everyone gave a little extra to help pay for their hospital bills. And then generally she says a prayer, and then we line up and we go eat. Then while we're eating, because she knows our mouths are shut pretty much, we're a little quieter then, she will begin to show the items that have been turned in. And it's quite interesting to see. And you never, it never fails that someone will come in, drop off stuff that one of the shut-ins has sent. So, it's a lot of fun. And of course, we're getting close to our time where we need to really start focusing on separating everything out, making sure everything's tagged, making sure that all those items that need to be washed, because some hospitals insist they have to be washed, and we sign an affidavit stating that they have been washed. Generally, that has to do with the baby items mostly, although Geisinger does want, I believe the last time I heard, they want everything that is turned into them washed. And generally, most of us go ahead and wash everything to begin with, so that way we don't have to have someone else come in and take things home to wash. It just makes it a little easier. And of course, then that way you can make sure you get all those loose ends you missed cut. So I just wanted you to see a little bit of that, because in October we will have our knit and run, and of course, if I'm able, I'm going to make a video about it. I like to do a video that is totally separate, that has the knit and run. That way the church can use it to put up on their website, and also for the pastor to use when they go to some of these breakfasts, those kind of things that different pastors join in on, either weekly or monthly. And of course, now it's time for What in Tarnation? Sorry about that. This first one comes from Pascagoula, Mississippi. Now, some of you know that I was a MUFON investigator, but I did not know that there was an alien abduction there. So now I find the need to look it up. There is a historical marker that commemorates a reported alien abduction. A historical marker has been placed near the river where 2 men in southern Mississippi said they were abducted by aliens in 1973. News outlets report the city of Pascagoula dedicated the marker Saturday at Lighthouse Park. Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker said they were on the shores the Pascagoula River when what appeared to be aliens pulled them aboard a UFO, examined them for about 30 minutes, and then returned them to Earth. Both reported the event to the Sheriff's Department, were checked out at a hospital after it happened, October the 11th, 1973. The story has become known worldwide, except for me. I missed it. Parker published a book about the experience in 2018. Hickson died in 2011. Both said many people doubted their story. A few witnesses have come forward to corroborate some details. Now that's interesting. And then we get into this one. I hope all of you saw the video of the deer that came to the beach in Michigan on the 4th of July. A deer joined visitors for a swim at Lake Michigan Beach on 4th of July weekend. Katie Papke shared video of the encounter as the white-tailed buck interacted with beachgoers in the water at Saugatuck State Park on Saturday. The deer spent about 30 minutes among the crowd, searching for snacks, licking a girl's leg, according to the video's description. Videos show the deer calmly standing near the edge of the water as a crowd gathers around to watch while taking pictures and videos. And I believe someone reached out and was petting it in one of them that I saw. Now this one upsets me. I grew up in Roswell, New Mexico. In the zoo, Spring River Park and Zoo was broken into. Animals escape when vandals break into the Roswell, New Mexico Zoo. Police are seeking information after vandals cut locks and fences in the city's zoo, allowing some animals to escape. 5 animal exhibits in the Spring River Park and Zoo were affected. Zoo staff noticed cut fencing when on Sunday morning. All the animals were accounted for, several wandering away from their enclosures, but otherwise staying within the grounds. A bobcat, 2 coatimundis, and a raccoon were found in keeper areas adjacent to their enclosures, but not accessible by the public, while a hawk, a coyote, and 1 raccoon stayed where they belonged, despite the opportunity for a breakout. The city-operated zoo was closed on that Sunday, and it's normally open every day of the week. There's train rides, there's a carousel, and it's generally very busy. The city-operated zoo police statement said that 1 or 2 persons cut the gate locks and in some cases fencing on 5 animal exhibits, resulting in 4 animals exiting their exhibits by remaining nearby. It called for help in finding suspects. They also have when I was there were about 10 or 11 buffalo. So can you imagine those getting loose on the street? Yeah, they're gentle animals, but they could have got spooked and they could have got hurt, or someone could have gotten hurt. And it's right in a residential area, so yeah. Police struggle with a station invading squirrel in New Hampshire. A pair of New Hampshire police officers were recorded by security cameras as they engaged in an unexpected chase inside the station with a squirrel. Maybe it's one of Miss D's squirrels. The video shows Statham Police Sergeant Emerson and Officer Duquette being surprised by a squirrel as it jumps at them and flees across the station garage. The men open the garage door and chased the rodent until they were about to get it out of the building. Please note, the squirrel was not injured at all, and oh, the boys were okay too, the department said. Now this is my next one that I think is awful adorable. My girlfriend is not hungry menu item goes viral at an Arkansas diner. An Arkansas diner's menu is going viral after a customer shared a photo of an unusual menu option called "My Girlfriend is Not Hungry." Nick Chisler posted a photo to Facebook showing the menu listing at Mama D's in Little Rock, which allows a customer to add extra fries, chicken wings, or cheese sticks to an entree so that they can be shared with a significant other who underestimates their own hunger. The post quickly went viral with reaction raging from amusement to accusations of sexism. Well, she could have listed it as my girlfriend doesn't get hungry. Mama D said in a Facebook post that the menu option is merely a solution for those who tend to dine with people that eat their food off their plate. And that's it for one incarnation. Some of you may have noticed some of the rather interesting posts that have been left for me when people find the videos about Ravelry. I will say this, sometimes I answer, sometimes I report, sometimes I block. That's all I'm going to say. So everybody remember, have a great week. And coming up this, I think it's Thursday, I will be drawing names for the winners of a giveaway. If you don't know what video that is, I suggest you start watching. Oh, that was so mean of me. Everybody have a great week, and I'll see you again soon. And remember, choose kindness.